On this episode of the John 1911 podcast, the ups and downs of being a cop, Google bans the gunbroker app, Anderson Manufacturing makes a red dot site, and shooting yourself in protest of Donald Trump. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. This is Marky and Freeze, and this is episode 107 of the John 1911 podcast. How's your busy day going, Freeze?
It's okay. Busy as heck.
It's been busy as heck, yeah. Sorry we're getting a late start. We normally do these in the morning, but like right now, I got a bunch of people over here in one of our conference room, an outside vendor, and they're presenting some stuff to us, and so they brought like a computer to hook up to like the big display TV, and this woman's got these crazy dongles, and everyone's just like, you know, we're trying to be nice, but everyone's just like, God damn it, run around trying to find stuff to hook her jacked up computer. Yeah. It's like, you are not making a good impression. But so anyway, I'm in the rifle room, so I don't have to deal with that. So we have other staff members dealing with it. So it's been a zoo around here. So anyway, before we started recording, I kind of stopped you because we started talking, and I just wanted to save it for the podcast. So as I'm sure a lot of people have heard, you know what? Maybe some. I think if you live in California, you don't think it's a big deal. There was a, quote, mass shooting, unquote, in Cincinnati at a bank called Fifth Third Bank. And that's obviously close to home for a lot of us. And you were telling me some information that had come up, I guess, on the body cams of the officers who responded to the shooter, because there's been some question of handguns and shotguns and rifles and, you know, shooting through glass and how everything happened. And, you know, go ahead and let you step in there and say what you can say without getting anybody in trouble.
Yeah, okay. Well, first off, I want to say the response time for the local police was amazingly quick. And it obviously prevented a lot more fatalities. But from an inside source that I know, couple things that are not real commonly known is, well, I guess everyone's probably heard that, you know, the guy's gun jammed. And what they were saying
the perpetrator's gun jammed.
Yes, the shooter's gun jammed. He was using a Taurus, but he was. I don't have the brand name of the ammo, but it was really, really dirty, cheap ammo. And my source was saying that that's basically the main reason the firearm jammed, because his ammo was garbage, which, you know, is common. A lot of non-gun guys go to Walmart, Kmart, buy the cheapest, nastiest ammo they can find because they don't know any better. Second thing is, I guess a lot of people have seen a video of one of the local police officers running up to the door, and he threw his AR down, and then pulled his handgun and then engaged. A couple things with that. In Cincinnati, the shotguns are kept, shotguns, but the rifles are kept in racks, and the racks are locked.
Racks, well, for the listener, because we have to be specific, the racks are locked where? I know where, but you need to say it. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I mean,
yeah, you said the rifles are in racks. Where are the racks? Are they back at the PD? Are they in a tank?
No.
Yeah.
There's a rack inside the cruiser that the rifle snaps it, you know, that it carries it, and it's got a lock on it.
Yes.
Some of the rifles are carried in the cruiser with the officers, but a lot of them are carried in the trunk, you know. In either case, there's a rack in there that the rifle fits into, and it's locked. Well, it's just got a push button, you know, keypad on it that you unlock it. Well, apparently, you know, I mean, they rolled up, they jumped out, they grabbed their gear. When he unlocked the rack, they're speculating maybe he hit the mag release button. So anyway, when he runs up to the door, you know, he goes in, the gun's not operational. Now, a lot of guys will sit there and say, well, you know, tap rack, blah, blah, blah. Well, look, there's an active shooter inside. And unlike Parkland, where the cops smoked cigarettes and talked on their phones before they went in, these guys went in like right now. He didn't, yeah, for whatever reason, he didn't feel he wanted to dick around with the gun that didn't go bang when he pulled the trigger. So he threw it down, pulled out his handgun, and then he engaged.
Well, tap rack wouldn't have worked because there was what was missing from the gun, because you didn't actually specify that either.
Well, yeah, I mean, when the mag release button was hit, it disengaged the magazine. So when he was running up, the magazine fell out of the gun.
Yes.
You know,
that's the theory right now.
Yeah. So anyway, but my point is, they went in and they engaged it. The only other information that I have is the perpetrator was taken out with a officer using a shotgun. So a handgun didn't actually take the shooter down. A shotgun did.
Yeah. You know me, I'm always real reticent. I'm not going to hang my hat on that. I mean, I believe that's what the story is, but you know how first reports are almost always wrong. It is entirely possible that it could be the exact opposite. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll see. My source is pretty reliable, so I'm gonna go 90-10 on that.
Okay, that's fair. You know what? That seems good.
But you know, I mean, again, I wasn't there. I wasn't involved with it, so I can't say with 100% surety. So I'm going 90-10 on it, but I feel my source is safe enough to hinge, you know, to hang those numbers on.
Yeah. I thought this was interesting because, you know, a lot of the people on the internet, you know, everybody's perfect on the internet, and nobody's ever had. Yeah, and you know, it's like, well, you know, I never would have shown up without a magazine in my gun, or I would have checked the magazine, or, you know, if it was my rifle, and just, you know, who knows? It's just one of those things. It's like in the real world,
look, everyone knows
this happens.
Everyone knows if you're AR qualified, you've got to tape 14 mags to your underwear before you put on your duty pants.
Mm-hmm. You know, and it's like, again, like all these people sitting around, they've got all day. They've had a week to sit around and war game this, and in reality, there were a bunch of guys, you know, in downtown, in a downtown urban environment, which is kind of a very open, pseudo festive center of town kind of area, and they're hearing gunshots echo from the area and calls of, you know, active shooter coming over at the radio. I mean, you do what you can when you can. What you have to grab is what you grab. You don't get to be ready for any of this shit.
Hey, the response time was quick. They took the shooter out pretty much in short order. They did a fantastic job.
I heard it was like I heard it was about 3 minutes.
Yeah, I mean,
I heard it was around the 3-minute mark.
These guys did a fantastic job. You know,
it was about best case scenario, about as good as you can do. I mean,
yeah. Because look, you don't have an active shooter until they start shooting.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
So you know, so a zero casualty scenario's pretty rare.
Yeah, I was. Bring me up to date on this, because I was traveling and, you know, I kind of missed some of this stuff. I heard that there was a civilian victim of this shooting that was shot 12 times and has lived.
It was a woman. I think she was like a VP or some kind of an executive with Fifth Third. And she was shot. She was hit 12 times, but it was all like in her arms. And she did take one shot to the abdomen. But even though she was shot 12 times, 11 of them, I don't want to say, we'll just say, for being shot 12 times, you know, I mean, you know, she thought she was going to die. As a matter of fact, from what I understand, one of the officers, while they're, you know, waiting on paramedics, gave her his cell phone so she could, like, talk to her husband on the phone and stuff like that, because she thought she was going to die. But apparently she lived. Now she's, from what I heard on the news, she's already undergone like 6 or 7 operations, which shot 12 times. That's not unexpected.
Yeah, it's pretty fair to assume that she's going to be
messed up.
I mean, there's a high likelihood she's going to have some debilitation the rest of her life.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, frankly, she's lucky if she doesn't lose a limb, somewhere down. I mean, now here's
the thing, just mathematically speaking, I have a hard time believing that she took 11 rounds into the arms and 1 into her torso body. I don't believe that math works either. I bet she took more rounds to her body. It would be so odd.
Maybe we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see if it, if it makes enough splash to even come out. That's one of those things that gets buried in the story. So who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
If we'll know. But yeah, regardless, she survived. But is the woman going back to work? Probably not.
Oh, I have no idea. So what's the ultimate fatality count on the shooting? Do you know?
2 fatalities, which I think is phenomenal.
Really? So 2 plus the shooter?
Well, no. I guess 3 counting the shooter. I usually don't count the shooter in the fatalities because I don't feel the piece of shit's worth counting is a victim count.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's like when this was being reported, see, again, this is a great opportunity. Now, I'm taking it at face value. You're saying there's 2 plus 1 fatalities. Because I remember I was traveling, and I remember this was starting to make some national news. And then you could tune into some of the local news, and, I was able to kind of get some of it. And you would hear numbers like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people. And it's one of those lessons. First reports are almost always wrong. Like I remember on 9/11, there were 20 airplanes that they couldn't find that were all over the place. And there was they had one down, the SWAT team had one surrounded, and there was a big gun battle in some airport. And the other guy, they blew up a plane somewhere. All that shit was wrong, and even when this is happening, it's like, I know enough to know when I'm listening to the news and they're all talking, it's like, well, okay, I got a basic idea what's going on here, but this is all going to change. Let's just, hold on. So, but that's interesting.
Now, he did shoot several people that did not die.
Okay.
I mean, there were more casualties than just the woman that was shot up and then, the 2 that he killed. I'm not sure. I think there was like 4 people wounded, but I'm not going to hang my hat on that. There was 3 or 4, something like that. So, he did shoot more than 3 people, but, they survived.
So have they been able to determine, have they been able to determine what they think his motivation may have been?
Okay. The guy was, again, no shock to you. The guy was a wingnut.
Yeah.
The guy was a wingnut, and he was, he thought everyone was out to get him. He was super paranoid. And I don't have any direct information on why he targeted Fifth Third Bank per se. But again, the guy was apparently he just everyone was out to get him.
Okay, well, I have some information to contribute here because I do have some information on this one. So right across, for people that don't know, there's Fifth Third Bank is a high-rise building in downtown Cincinnati. Like every little mid-sized town, and across on one side of Fifth Third Bank is the U.S. Sixth Circuit, the federal court. It's a Justice Potter Stewart courthouse. And one of the theories I had heard was he had gone down initially maybe to go into the courthouse to get revenge because I guess a bunch of his lawsuits he's been filing have been dismissed. And so he ended up going across the street to the Fifth Third Bank and, getting his revenge there. What apparently has come out is he sued. What the hell was he suing? He sued. I think I don't want to say the wrong company because I don't want to get emails. He sued, I believe it was a cable. I'm going to be generic. I believe he sued a cable company because he said that cable company was spying on him.
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't heard that theory, but again, thinking everyone's out to get him. Yeah, sure, why not? Cable companies spy on you all the time.
And I think it was.
I swear.
I think it was
my phone.
What was that?
I said, I swear the Koreans are spying on me from my phone.
Yeah, well, it did just burble a little bit. I'd heard. I think he was in Judge. I think it was in Judge DeLott's room. I heard it might have been DeLott, but I guess she was like, no, you're not saying that they're tracking you. So anyway, so apparently he has a history of having these criminal or these mental health issues, and he's just walking through society until he catches a felony and ends up in jail or dead. And it's kind of the same deal.
It's the same thing we've talked about on past podcasts previously. I mean, again, every time you get one of these quote unquote mass shootings, which is a term I hate, it's always a freaking wingnut.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I mean, I'm going to say something. This is going to be real shitty. And I'm not trying to be shitty. I'm not. But, when a guy shoots when like a bunch of people get shot on the dope corner at 3:00 in the morning, it's a dope shooting. When 5 people get shot in the business district of your local city, it's a mass shooting.
Unless you're an anti-gunner who's trying to pad the stats to make mass shootings look great, then every dope shooting gets included in their stats.
Oh, no. If you're anti-gunner, every dope shooting becomes minors shooting minors. So, hey, but there is a new trend. There is a new trend, I think, on the horizon for crazy people in shooting. Did you hear about I guess in Las Vegas, there was a professor emeritus who is if you're emeritus, basically it means you're kind of in semi-retirement, so you don't have to do minimum work. You can basically stove your office, and it's kind of like if you've ever been to college, it's like the professorial version of auditing a class. So anyway, this guy's in his late 60s. I believe it was a man. And he's a emeritus professor of sociology. Oh my, a sociology professor. And so he goes into some building at the college in Las Vegas and takes out a handgun and shoots himself in the arm. And either I've heard, is he blaming it on Trump or was it in protest to Donald Trump? Is this the new thing now?
No, it was in protest. It was in protest to Donald Trump, and that tells you how crazy all these left-wing people are. Oh, but here's the best part of the story. When he shot himself, he was in a bathroom, a restroom.
Never. You know what? Life rule number 421. When you're in college and you're in like the college buildings, and never ever ever go into the bathrooms. Just don't.
For more reasons than one.
More reasons than just this.
But the best part of the story is the guy took $100 bill and taped it up to the mirror in the bathroom for the janitor because, well, he figured the janitor's going to have to clean up the mess. So he was just kind of like, this is for your efforts. That tells you how crazy this wackadoo is.
I firmly believe in tipping for good service. I thought leftists didn't like tipping. I thought tipping was supposed to be like racist.
Shit, I don't know.
Earlier this year, tipping was racist.
Especially if you tip with a $20 bill, then you're super racist.
Yeah.
Then you're
racist professor. So now here's the thing: it could be a racist professor, gets shot, and it's Donald Trump's fault. And since it was at a college, we can now say that it was a mass shooting of minors because reasons. And and what I'm doing is, and people don't realize this, did you hear the story that I guess John Lott, he's the big anti-gun research dude, and there's been these there's some study came out of like some college in Alabama or somewhere, basically saying that the U.S. has more mass shootings than all these other countries, and people have been parroting this bullshit. We've been hearing it for about 8 or 10 years. Well, Lott apparently decided to get the study and went through all of the data, and turns out that it's a fraud. It's completely fucking made up. The data, data's not there.
Yeah, no, I read his report. I don't know, a month or so ago, a while back.
Yeah, it's about a month. It's been a little while. We've been busy.
Yeah, I read it, and it's just like, because guys like me and you go, yeah, these numbers are bullshit. We know that, but it's real interesting to see the hard data and go, oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was like, and I guess apparently.
So now when all these anti-gun lefties are spouting these reports and all the pro-gunners have to say, oh, you're wrong. Now you can go, oh, wait a minute. Here, I've got hard data to back up why you're wrong. Huh.
Yeah, it was just like, oh my God.
Maybe put a link to the report in the description.
You know what? Yeah, we'll put that in the comment section when we post this on the website. So
it's a long read, but it's well worth it.
Yeah, and it's like we have the most shootings of any country in the civilized world, and it's just like, really? Yeah, whatever, dude.
I'm thinking the Congo might have a few more.
I know, but hey, we talked about this a little while ago, and I don't know if you've heard this or not. So, this Alex Jones dude, right? He, I guess people know who he is now. And I haven't really.
I'm sure most people know who Alex Jones is, even if you don't listen to him. I'm sure you know the name.
Yeah, especially now. Like I did see the video where he was like shadowing Marco Rubio in Congress, and it was just like, I'm probably going to get saying something about Alex Jones. To be honest with you, is like saying something about Ron Paul. His people, they come after you. Like his little buddies.
How come the guy's crazy?
The guy's crazy, and like I'm watching him, and I'm like, maybe it's an act. It becomes a shtick for his brand. That's fine, but it's like, where is he trying to go? But it was interesting. So he got deplatformed. So he did that, but he was still on Twitter. And he still had, even though his podcast was off of iTunes, he still had his app in the iTunes store. And this is really important. And I wanted people to pay attention to this one. Apple kicked him off the iTunes because, their distribution, you don't have to use iTunes to distribute, your podcast. You can use whatever or deal with it directly. But the working theory is that an app is kind of like your own website. It's your own property. And so, like, I can do whatever I want on John 1911. Pretty much, I'm sure that the hosting company, if I, did something crazy, like crazy, like there'd be issues. But generally speaking, it's understood, you own your own properties. And so all these companies, I think Apple was real smart. They Apple seems to me in Silicon Valley to be the adult in the room, and Apple seems to be the one that when Apple makes a decision that a lot of the other companies would be like, okay, well, mommy and daddy said it was okay, so we're going to do it. So Apple kicked him off of iTunes. That's all they did. And so then immediately after that happened, like within 24 hours or 48 hours, Facebook, YouTube, Google, all this shit started falling on Alex Jones. And, again, it kind of settled down and, quote, he's been deplatformed. But he still had his app. And he showed up he did the Rubio thing. And then Apple decided they pulled his app from the App Store. They were like, okay, you know what? For what they didn't give a reason, they just said, yeah, we're pulling this. And so they pulled his app, which is kind of like shutting someone's website down, because in the future, apps are kind of like websites. Now, here's the important part. If you're listening to this and you're like, I don't give a fuck about goddamn Alex motherfucking Jones, and I don't give a fuck about all these assholes. It wasn't a goddamn week later, Google yanked the Gunbroker app out of the Android store. Did you hear about that?
No, I did not. That is news.
Mm-hmm. Here it comes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know if Apple's going to do that shit, but here's the thing. If there's like a huge shooting or there's some huge brouhaha, you may see Gunbroker. I use the Gunbroker app a lot. I probably used the Gunbroker app more than I know. I use the Gunbroker app more than I use Facebook, because I don't even have Facebook on my phone. But I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, that is. But you know what? When we talked about this, I don't know, a couple podcasts ago, I guess. I don't remember when, but we talked about the Alex Jones and the Apple app and all that stuff. We kind of alluded to something like this happening.
Yeah. Well, since all of that has developed, and I guess it's not a surprise, but since all that has developed, some stuff has been coming out about Google. So I guess the first thing was Trump came out and was like, Google they were trying to promote Barack Obama's speeches, but they were trying to throttle the stuff for my State of the Union speeches. And Google was like, get the fuck out of here, you crazy cracker. And then somebody showed the screenshots from the Google homepage from when Barack Obama was giving a State of the Union address. There'd be a big banner that said, watch Barack Obama tonight at like 8 o'clock or whatever, 8 or 9 or 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for State of the Union. And then when Trump, two speeches, when Trump gives a State of the Union address, nothing. Because they could go back and prove it. And what happened was, it was like they shut up. But this opened the floodgates. And then you started seeing emails coming out from inside of Google talking about how they were trying to get the Hispanic vote to vote for Hillary, not for Trump. Yeah. And then now I guess an internal video broke this morning. I saw it this morning. I've seen screenshots of it, but it's a panel. It's even marked confidential internal use only. And it's a panel of Google people on a stage talking, it looks like, to an audience full of people at Google, and they're videotaping this and supposedly complaining about Donald Trump winning and Hillary Clinton losing, and how they're all going to try to get through this together, and what they're going to do to maybe lessons learned so they can get their person elected in the future. And I'm seeing this, and I'm like, this is literally the Silicon Valley version of the dumbass kid who videotapes himself committing a crime and then posts it to YouTube
or Facebook. He records his crime live on Facebook Live.
Yeah, because they're so disconnected from reality here that they don't even realize, because we have some major problems here. See, a lot of our younger viewers, you will remember this, Freeze, and a lot of our old, they remember some of this. But see, kids have never really seen this. Even later on, they have never really seen a true antitrust breakup of a company like you and I have.
I lived through one.
Oh, yeah. Well, here's the big ones. We saw AT&T get broken up, until the baby bells, and that broke that monopoly, and that's why we have all the cell phones and all the competition and Verizon. And
that's why you can keep your phone number. That's why, regardless of you having 25 phones, you kept the same phone number for 20 years. That's
yeah,
why.
it didn't used to be able to do that. I mean, it was crazy the kind of bullshit they'd pull off. So, but then here's the other one. Back during the Microsoft days, there was some threat of government action. What happened was there was Windows was the big bad mamma jamma in the room. They had Microsoft and Windows, and Microsoft really. Then their DOS system. They had their disk operating system, and every computer was loaded with DOS. And there was a company that came out with a competing version of DOS called DR-DOS, and nobody remembers this unless you're an IT guy. And DR-DOS was better than Microsoft DOS. It was a lot better, and they were becoming successful. And what ended up happening was Microsoft went out and basically threatened all the computer companies, and they took actions to basically derail DR-DOS's business. And DR-DOS went out of business, but they ended up actually suing Microsoft, and I believe they won or they got a huge settlement out of it. And Microsoft admitted that they had engaged in in antitrust, and they had engaged in monopolistic behavior. And then there was the one, what was it? And it's gone now. Like, was it Netscape? Do you remember Netscape?
Yes, yeah, I do actually.
Yeah,
Wow.
see, and Netscape they had done the same thing with different browsers. And here's the thing. So we have all the shit that's going on. I'm telling you this, the listener at home. We have all the shit that's going on with Facebook and all the social media companies. And then now we're seeing all this evidence of all this manipulation, because here's the thing. The left has decided to go Russia, 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 because they don't want to admit that Hillary Clinton sucked. So here's the thing. If we're going to have this who's influencing elections, we're going to be
apparently Google influenced the election a hell of a lot more than the Russians did.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If we're going to actually have this conversation, it's opened up the argument, and we are heading down the road to some kind of action here. And here's the thing. There's people, especially in the U.S., that are listening to this, that are like, there's no way we're going to see some kind of retribution or I would call regulation or prosecution or some kind of investigation and all this. Well, you know what? We've seen in the past in the U.S. And if you are in Europe or you're overseas and you're listening to this podcast, and we do have some overseas listeners, you know as well as I do that the European Union is very, very aggressive about this kind of bullshit. And, a lot of our hippies in the U.S., they don't come up with their own ideas. They get them from Europe first. And what's starting to happen, you're having a lot of these really smart guys and girls that work in finance in New York City, London, and on the West Coast. And they're looking at Amazon, they're looking at Google, and they're looking what's happening to markets, and they're saying this is not a competitive environment. It's putting a lot of people out of business. And now you overlay it the politics of some of these same companies that are now engaged in this kind of this coercive behavior that is, that's in violation of federal finance laws. And we're heading to some kind of collision here. And it's coming. It may not happen till after the next election cycle. Something's coming.
Well, I don't doubt you in the least bit on that. I mean, when you
don't, because you're old enough to remember all this.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess that's true. I mean,
do you remember the fairness doctrine in radio?
Yes.
No, but none of our listeners know what the fuck I'm even talking about. If they're under 30, they have no goddamn idea what that was.
Well, but you know what? A lot of the people under 30, I don't want to insult all the people that are under 30 listening to this, because when I say everyone under 30, it obviously doesn't include every single person under 30. But look, a lot of these under 30 people, all they know are the Barack Obama years. Barack Obama was president for 8 years. If you're 30 years old today, that means you were 20 or 21 when he was elected president. Most 20, 21-year-olds, don't really know what's going on in the world. They don't follow politics. They don't know anything outside their own little personal beer drinking, pot smoking bubble. And I don't mean that as an insult because I'll be honest, when I was 20, drank a lot of beer, smoked a lot of pot. I know what it's like to be 20, you know. But the thing is, they don't know what it was like during the Reagan years, and they don't know what it was like with, you know, business and politics and that, you know, and it's just, they have no clue. But you know what? I can see the wheel making a complete rotation here, and Donald Trump's the cause of that.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, Donald Trump's the cause of it because, look, they're like, all we heard for the first 4 years of George W. Bush was he wasn't a real president. And now we're going to hear for the first 4 years of Donald Trump is Russia, Russia, Russia. And then after he gets reelected, they'll kind of move off of that.
You know, I mean, the first 4 years of Ronald Reagan's presidency, it was jelly beans and cowboy hats.
Yeah, they all said Ronald Reagan was not in control. He drooled at the mouth and was in his pajamas all day, and he was like, you know, Alexander Haig was running the fucking White House. You know what I mean? I mean, it was. They try to say the same thing about Trump's not in control. It's you don't know what's going on here, and like the staff. If we have a crisis, Donald Trump can't handle it. We're trying to hold it all together to cross the finish line. It's just like, whatever, dude. Good luck with that. You know. And here's the thing: it's like, all this crazy meme bullshit. You know why we have, I thought about this. Do you know why we have Donald Trump today, Freeze? I mean, do you actually know why? I can sum it up. You obviously know why, but I can sum it up in like one example. That's the perfect justification for Donald Trump.
Go ahead. Throw it on me.
The same media that told us that Mitt Romney was the fucking devil. I mean, look, I have a lot of problems with Mitt Romney, but let's be honest, dude. Mitt Romney was like the poster child perfect dude to run for president. Squeaky clean his whole life. Mr. like, you know, involved in all this stuff and adopted kids and probably never said a curse word ever. You know, and all we heard was how fucking awful, how he was the devil. He
was cruel to animals. He wore underwear.
Binders and binders of women. Remember that bullshit?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, oh, we hire all these women. We have binders and binders of women. And they took a positive and tried to make it a negative. And it's like, oh, yeah, you want to see the devil? Donald motherfucking Trump. And that's why we have Donald Trump today. Yeah. So, hey, I don't want to talk about politics all day. I'm going to give you a bone here. I'm going to leave that in there too. I'm going to throw you a bone.
Come on. Friends, not that tight.
You love, because, you know, what's your phrase? You're a cheap bastard.
Oh, yeah.
And you love, you're a big AR like parts guy. You love Anderson Manufacturing, right? I think they're near us.
Yeah, they're right across the river.
Did you hear that Anderson Manufacturing has I'm calling it a red dot. They're calling it a reflex sight.
Dude, I got a chub when I heard that.
Did you get a price? I don't know.
Yeah.
What's the price?
$90 and $125.
Okay, well, I mean, that's Bushnell. That's not.
That's Bushnell right there. But here's the thing: if first reports are saying $90 and $125, I bet you can pick that goddamn thing up for $59.99.
Good point.
Between $59 and $89 is what I'm going to claim once it hits the actual stores.
So they're zero magnification red dot sights. There's not like a 1 to 4 in there or anything. Or
I think they're basic. I think they have a 0 magnification, and I think they're going to have like a 2 power magnification.
Oh, that's interesting.
And that's going to account for the price range between like 89 and 125, whatever they're saying.
Okay.
Obviously, you know, the 2 power is going to be more expensive than the 0 power, but
that's very competitive.
Oh yeah, it is, and I'm loving it. So when I build the Poverty Pony build, it will have a Anderson red dot on it.
Poverty Pony. Oh my God, that's got to be something from a forum.
Oh, okay. Look, when you go on all the AR build forums and stuff, because I keep my eye out on them because I just do. Everyone has to justify, and I've talked about this before. Everyone has to justify why they have to spend $600 on an AR lower without actually trying to sound stupid for doing it. But the Anderson, if those that don't know, Anderson Manufacturing, their logo is is a horse.
Oh, that's right.
So buy an Anderson lower for $49.99 to $99.99. They call it the Poverty Pony. Oh yeah, Andersons are good if you want a cheap build. Well, it's a fucking lower. They make lowers out of plastic. Why? Because it's the least important part on the gun.
Yeah.
So, look, if I take a big block of aluminum and I have Anderson mill it to mill spec, and I take a big block of aluminum and I have Aero mill it or Daniel Defense mill it to mill spec, there's no goddamn difference except the price.
That begs the question. I wonder if Anderson is actually making these reflex red dot sights, whatever they are, or if they're just branded. I would suspect they're branded.
I'm going with branded. However, Anderson got they got their business for making actual AR components for the military and other people. So a lot of these other manufacturers that you go to, and I don't know, who they are. A lot of the barrels and parts and components to an AR were made by Anderson for them. That's how they got into the business.
You know what? I got to say this because right now there's people right now that don't know what you're talking about that are probably freaking out. What you are describing is, and I don't know this, but Anderson likely was a subcontractor for some existing rifle contracts and was making stuff as a subcontractor. And
Yes.
So they were already making the stuff as OEM, basically making it for other people. And here's the thing, if you're listening to this and you're like, don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. This is very common in the 1911 market, and where is it also? Is it real common? You'll see a lot of the OEM stuff where like who's okay. You know what? Here's you don't even know who. There's no way you know who this company is. There's a company out there. They're relatively new. They're in New Hampshire. They're called Q. And they make a bunch of cool guy stuff. They're basically the guys who started AAC, the suppressor company, and then they left AAC. They sold to Remington. They got a big fight. They left Remington, ended up started working at SIG. They were responsible for a lot of what you personally like at SIG. They eventually left SIG on good terms, and then they decided to go back in their own business again. And instead of, they create this company called Q, and they make like these uber suppressed 300 blackout guns and, AR-15 little PDWs, and they make these bolt guns, all these and this shit's expensive as hell. And here's the thing, and people don't want to admit this, Q doesn't make that stuff. I mean, they do, but Q doesn't make all of those parts. They subcontract those parts to other manufacturing facilities, and they assemble them.
Well, sure. I mean, we discussed this with optics, and I won't name the company because, again, I don't want you getting all the emails. One of the high-speed, low-drag tactical optics company, Bushnell makes a lot of their glass for them.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
we won't mention names because people will get all kinds of fucking butt hurt. But
yeah, well, here's the thing: the AR people, what I just described, that turn their noses up at Anderson. And again, I'm not a big AR guy, but all of a sudden now, those same guys think Faxon is like they're like cool kids, and Faxon was the same fucking business. Faxon was a subcontractor making barrels for other people.
Oh man,
and you couldn't give a Faxon barrel away.
No, but now if you go into the AR forums, a Faxon barrel is like the shit. It's the Mac Daddy of barrels.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, yeah, and it's that's marketing. I mean, Faxon makes a great barrel, but it's like, how many years ago, if that barrel didn't say, I'll be easy. Let's just say if it wasn't a real Colt barrel, it wasn't fucking shit. In reality, it was made by Faxon the whole time.
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
Yeah, so that's what Anderson did. Anderson, a lot of they made a lot of parts for the military. So when
they made a lot of parts as a subcontractor. I don't even want to say military.
Well, I mean, they had a defense contract, and so if you were an armorer in the military and you had to repair, whatever rifle came across, your desk, a lot of the parts were supplied to them by Anderson, but as well as other companies, because they weren't the only one. A lot of companies make parts for the government, as well as other manufacturers. I mean, this is not something, new. I mean, Ed Brown makes parts for a lot of different gun manufacturers.
Yeah, that is true. Ed Brown. Ed Brown was basically making other people's guns at one point.
Yeah,
might as well have been.
Yeah, I mean, so that's not uncommon in the gun business. Yeah. Now, I know a lot of fanboys don't like to hear that.
Yeah, there was a time when you could find it. You could look at an Ed Brown gun. I'm gonna choose round numbers just to make it simple. And you would see an Ed Brown gun. It was like $2,000, and then you would see one of the really cool kid high end guns, and it would be $4,000. And if you knew what some of the relationships were, you were spending a lot more money than you needed to.
Oh yeah,
because a lot of that shit was coming from the same machinery, and a lot of that involves NDAs, and I'm going to stop talking.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I for years I've called the Dan Wesson 1911 a poor man's Ed Brown, because all the internals in that on the Dan Wessons are Ed Brown parts.
But they weren't hiding it. They leveraged the Ed Brown name and were doing it. But hold on, but in defense, hold on. There was like Ed Brown had come out. I remember this was some years ago. Ed Brown had come out with some kind of here we go. We have an Ed Brown 9mm 1911 here in the armory, like one of the really early ones, early ones. And Ed Brown was not making a 9mm 19. It was the first time they had made one since they were full custom. And if you look at the slide stop on a 9mm 1911 from Ed Brown from that time period, it looks markedly different than the standard slide stops. And because Ed Brown was only supposed to be making a limited run of these guns, this was not going to be a cataloged item. And if you were to look at that slide stop and you were to look at a company called I think it was EGW.
Yeah.
Look at their 9mm slide stops. It's that goddamn slide stop, 100%. Because Ed Brown was like, look, we're only going to make 50 of these fucking guns. Why should we tool up to just make 50 of these special-ass parts that suck?
Makes total sense.
Yeah, we're just going to buy 50 of them from these people. We'll OEM as our part, and we're good.
EGW makes 1911 parts. I mean, that's basically their business.
But it's because anyway. So my point is, the people that are like, well, these guys make the parts for these guys, and so these guys are better. But it's everybody does it. It's a matter of machine time and who's got what available. Because Ed Brown was getting parts from other people, and Ed Brown was the biggest fucking parts supplier to everybody. So it's not like you can't stick your flag on that Ed Brown hill and pretend that you're better than everybody else because you think you're smarter. Because Ed Brown does it too. They're taking it up the ass with somebody else's parts. It's just this entire market the entire gun industry because there's a lot of marketing involved in the gun industry, which is fine. But, the marketing is what usually determines the price difference, not the actual product.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you go out there and buy a shitty gun and be, then act all ass hurt when it blows up on you. I'm just saying there's a lot of meat on the bone on a lot of these guns. So, hey,
exactly, but anyway, getting back to the Anderson optics.
We'll buy one. We'll buy one.
Man, I'm going to put one probably on the. I don't know if I'm going to put one on the pistol build or not. I was thinking about just putting some flip ups on there, but I don't know. But you know what? I might pick one up for the pistol build. Who knows?
I'll tell you what, we're gonna call that pistol build the Phantom gun because you've been talking about it for a year.
Oh man,
I've never seen it.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, dude. I mean, I bet you we go back a year in this podcast. I'm building this pistol gun, and it's like, where is it? I'm just saying. Okay, all right. Check this out. Here's a time check on you. It's September. The new range that we're building, I wrote that first check and signed on that property transfer 12 months ago.
Wow. Has it been a year already?
We are at 12 months.
I'll be damned. Time flies.
Yeah, well, it's been a busy 12 months.
I mean, what else flies? Dollars.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. You know what? We'll save it for later. But yeah, we're having some developments with the tower. I've been dealing with that the past couple of days, so we'll deal with that. If we can get the dozers back in, we got the D8s off the property. Actually, I don't know if we talked about this. So the shipping containers in. The pistol pit and mound berm is the big, like, all-encompassing pit's done.
Yeah,
we've got the gravel in for the theoretical shooting position for like the 600, 700, 800 yard shooting position.
Uh-huh.
And then we also put in a second shooting position that was cut in a couple days ago, and that's like 14 by whatever. It's on the hill down below the briar patch to the left. So you can go down in there and you can shoot straight across the valley and get 100 yard flat zero. It was here's the thing. It was either do that or it was try to cut the back end face of that hill off and try to make it so we could get a straight shot from, say, like the theoretical shooting position to 100 yards. And it was like, and you're going to be at an angle. It was going to be tons of dirt again. And I was just like, this is stupid. Just put it here, moved it forward. We can shoot 100. You can shoot really because you're level. You can shoot nothing to 100, 105, you 150, 2, 3, 4. You can probably shoot the 500 yards from that 100 yard shooting position.
Yeah, no, that's phenomenal.
So you can zero horizontal, and then you can just go bang, 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 bang out to about 5. And if you want to get the 6 and farther, you got to go back up out of the container. So that's in. So basically, all we're waiting now is we need to gravel into the big pit, that we're calling the pit. That'll handle and that's going to be minimum 6 dump trucks.
Oh yeah, every bit of it.
They're giving me a break on it, but it's and actually it's actually not. It is limestone, but what it is, they call it slag. They're getting it from a like a foundry. They use it as to clean the impurities out of the molten metal, I guess.
Yeah.
So it has basically metal infused in it, so it's kind of dark looking, but it's fine by me. I don't care.
Well, you know what? If it's a couple of bucks cheaper a dump truck load, I'm all for it.
With the discount compared to like the stuff that they use normally for like driveways, it's half.
Yeah.
The normal, it's like $400 a dump truck load for the other stuff.
Hey, way to make money on scrap.
Yeah, apparently they can't. They can't keep it all in stock. Hey,
Yeah.
we got a lot of questions about this, and we've been going about an hour, and this is kind of a downer subject, but a lot of questions came in on it, and we're going to have to discuss it. You heard about the police officer in Dallas that was coming home after a shift, and I guess she lived in an apartment building, and she walked into the wrong apartment and thought someone was in her apartment, and she shot this guy. Did you hear anything about this?
I heard about it. I don't know a lot of details on it, but yeah.
So, long story short, and a lot of people don't understand is, I guess, I predicted it. We gotta have a chance to talk about it. I mean, she's going to jail. The only question is, it's like, what people don't understand is like, well, they go to the wrong house and, accidents happen. And it's like, well, this wasn't a police call. This wasn't a 911 call. This wasn't a call for service. It was after work. It's where she supposedly lives. She should know it's an area she's familiar with. And she went into this man's home. She made a mistake, walked into this home and shot this guy. And it's like, there's not going to be, there may be a plea deal here, but she's going to jail. She will go to prison. And the only question is on this is, will the Dallas Police Department be writing a $100 million check, a $200 million check, or a $300 million check? Because basically, the only questions are, the first question is she stupid? That's a $100 million check. The second question was she a drunk, like under the influence of something? That will be a $200 million check. And the third question is she fucking insane? And that would be the $300 million check. And that would be whether, that what happened on her psych exam when she was hired. Have there been other complaints? Has she got a history of unusually aggressive policing? And
Yes.
like what are we looking at here? And so It's a tough situation. A lot of people they think we're always coming in on the side of the cops, and we generally do.
Okay, so
this is wrong.
98% of the time we do, yeah, but that's the nature of who we are. But look, right is right and wrong is wrong. And look, you have to put yourself in this situation. You live in an apartment building, and for whatever reason, you walk into your neighbor's apartment and shoot them. You're going to jail. Just because she's a cop doesn't mean she gets a pass on this. I mean, it is what it is.
And this brings up a lot of interesting questions I think the average listener doesn't consider because they're not criminals. So, here's the first one. The first offense is, well, she told him to freeze and put up his hands or do whatever it was that she told him to do, and he ignored her commands. Well, that may very well be true, but here's the problem. From a constitutional law standpoint, nowhere in this country are your constitutional rights stronger than behind the closed door of your home. So here's the thing. Someone walks in your house and, they tell you to stand on one foot and bark like a dog. Again, it doesn't fucking matter. Now, here's where it gets really complicated. No one wants to admit this, but that sliding constitutional scale, it has a little bit of leverage to it. Here's why. If you're a doper and you're in the dope game and you're running a dope house and you have dope activity happening constantly at your home, it's basically understood at some point in your life, you're going to get knock, 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 police, 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 or you're going to get knock, 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 bam, and that door is going to explode into 100 pieces, and a bunch of guys are going to come in your house. You can't be in organized crime game and then be totally shocked, completely 100% shocked that all of a sudden there's a bunch of guys with badges and guns sticking their guns in your face.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. If you're just an average person at home and you're a law-abiding citizen, and you don't have any expectations that one day you're going to get that no-knock warrant, that constitutional threshold is so high, this woman is going to prison.
Yeah.
She is a disgrace to her department. She's a disgrace to the profession. I'm sure she feels terrible. But at the end of the day, sheep go to heaven, goats go to hell. She fucked up. She's going to prison, and she deserves it. I don't say that with malice. I don't say that with anger. But I don't care that she's a cop or she's not a cop. This is awful. And she screwed up so bad, she's going to prison. Well, not for a year.
We'll see what happens. I agree that she is going to prison. How long she goes for, I don't know. I agree. It's going to be more than she's not going to get, time served, or she's not going to get 24 months. She's going to do some time.
Mm-hmm. The only thing that needs to be adjudicated at this point, and this is where the average listener may understand this, is not whether she's guilty. It's not whether, did she do something right? Could it have been different? All these mitigating circumstances. The only thing that needs to be determined, is she a moron? Is she a drunk? Or is she fucking insane? That's the only thing that counts. That's the only thing that needs to be determined. Was it an accident? Is she negligent because she was under the influence of something? Or is she fucking idiot and she had no business being a cop carrying a badge and a gun to begin with? And it's going to be $100, $200, or $300 million check. It's awful. And this is why stuff like this is the worst case scenario. So when you're a year from now and you're listening to us talk about some story where some city or some police department or some administrator issues some ruling or puts some kinds of restrictions on rules of engagements or police officers' behavior, think about this, because this gets you to that.
Yeah, it does.
It does. And here's the thing, nobody makes a Hollywood movie where this happens because it doesn't sell tickets. But this is the worst case. The only thing that could have been worse is if it had been a little kid.
Where was Black Lives Matter when all this went down?
You know what? Truth is, may very well be. I mean, I believe he was black even, and I believe the officer's white. That may very well be. Dude, I wouldn't be surprised. They may very well be down there. I don't know. It's horrible. Yeah, the guy's mother was talking, and she sounds like an immigrant. It doesn't sound like this way. American English is not her first language. She has some kind of accent, and it's just like, oh God, it's just worse. It's like, oh fuck, it's terrible.
Yeah, it sucks.
So let's circle this back into where we got in. We were talking about the cops being the heroes, running into that Fifth Third Bank, shooting the guns at the bad guy, and bang, 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 bang. The reality is, you shoot the wrong person, sheep go to heaven, goats go to hell, and that's a very stressful situation. And they own every fucking bullet they launch, and it's not like it is in the movies, and it's hard. And they're responsible.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And and when something like this goes down, they need to basically be subjected to the same laws as every other average citizen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this wasn't look, here's the thing that you have to understand. This wasn't a bad shooting by a cop on duty. This was a mistake by a person who walked into the wrong house.
Yes, but the thing is, when shit's happening at the time, that woman, with that cop in Dallas, when she dropped that hammer on that dude, she thought she was in her own house. Think about this. She thought she was at the highest level of constitutional protection because she's in her own home. Think about castle doctrine here. Think about having to retreat, rights of self-defense. What if he had gunned her down? Now, think about this. When those cops in Cincinnati got the call to go to the bank, bang, 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 and they're running through this, you know what this place looks like. It's suits everywhere. They come around that corner and they see a dude with a gun. Is that a CCW guy? Did they just shoot the wrong guy? Is it the right guy? Is he by himself? Are there more shooters? It's not over. We all get to watch the videotape and we get to know when it's over. They don't.
Yeah.
They don't know what the fuck's going on. They don't know what they're looking at. For all they know, it's a nightmare scenario. That could have been, because they said the guy was dressed in business clothes. And he could have been like, what if he was like, what if he's the guy that came up, shot the shooter in the back of the head with his 2-shot Derringer, and then picked up the subject's gun to secure it just at that moment when the cops come around the corner and they're like, gotcha. You see, Now I'm making these crazy examples to prove a point. Shit goes wrong. You come around a corner to drop the hammer on some dude and your gun doesn't have any fucking bullets in it. You shoot the wrong people. You walk into the wrong house. You think the gunfight's over and it's not. Being a cop, dude, is a terrible fucking job.
Yeah, it is.
And maybe we shouldn't be protesting police officers. Maybe we should be respecting them. And realizing when the shit goes wrong and this woman shoots this guy and everyone's like, or the cop CPD officer goes around the corner without any ammo in his fucking gun, instead of saying that'll never happen to me because I'm not stupid, maybe you should be a little bit more, but for the grace of God.
Yeah. Well, and I always hate to hear people on the internet say shit like that. Oh, that'll never happen to me because I train or I do this or I do that. And my response is never say never, dickhead, because as soon as you start saying that it'll never happen to me, shit happens. Oh, I'll never have an AD. Oh, that doesn't happen to me. I'm totally safe.
Every person that's had an AD never was like, I'm never going to have an AD. That's never going to happen to me.
Exactly.
You know the best way not to have an AD? Keep your gun in the fucking holster.
Best way to not have an AD is not to have a gun.
Yeah, like guns are dangerous. Things are dangerous. Did you hear that? Did they get that memo?
Yeah, exactly.
That goes with the territory.
Yeah.
All right. Let's wrap up episode 107 of the John 1911 podcast. If you want to see any stories or links to the things that we've referenced, we'll have some stuff in the comment section below with screen grabs or outbound links to the things we talked about if you want to explore it in a little bit more detail. And just remember, it's all about shooting guns and having fun. Everybody, have a good day.
See you later.